Morning.
Okay, so we're gonna start in Setu Bandha. So I've got a setup here with, let me show, and have a strap for your legs, okay? So I'm using 2 blankets. For feet support, you could use an extra bolster, you could use blocks, something to raise your feet to the height of the bolster. So you'll sit on the end of your bolster, strap at your mid-thigh. Pretty snug. And then use the hands to come back and tuck the buttocks under until the tops of the shoulders come down. All right, and then extend. So you might want to do a little bit of measuring before you lie all the way back to make sure that the leg length will be okay. All right, and then arms can be in a cactus shape for today. Elbows same level as the shoulder, palms up. And when you come down, you'll bring your feet down and slide towards the head side. And then roll to the side. And the feet can be hip width once you're down, but have the strap does a really nice job of reducing the work of the legs, holding that outer thigh in. And then glasses off if you're wearing glasses. Let the little toes, let the soles of the feet be quiet, right? So not to, we're heading into a pranayama work. So I'm treating this a little bit like a shavasana before we go into pranayama. So the toes can quiet, the soles of the feet can quiet. Let that big toe fall towards the little toe as you would in shavasana. And the strap's there to help hold the legs. So if there's knee pain, you can always add more support underneath the knees, or even a strap to the outer feet as well. But if there's no knee pain, let those big toes fall to the little toes. Lengthen the buttocks under, so you feel that lower lumbar lengthen towards the buttocks. Draw the tops of the shoulders away from the ears. And lengthen the back of the neck towards the base of the skull. See that just like we quieted the soles of the feet, see that the palm isn't pushing or spreading too hard. So let the center of the palm sink downward towards the floor, so that the outer edges of the palm raise up higher than the center. And the fingers get to curl softly as the thumb draws in towards the pointer finger. And then smooth that skin of the forehead from the hairline to the eyebrows. Notice the hinge of the jaw. See if you can create a little space there between the back molars as you draw the hinge of the jaw back towards the floor. And soften the corners of the lips. And as you inhale, bring special attention. Let's see if we can start to use some imagery for the breath here. So as you inhale, find the spot where the shoulders are, like the bottom edge of the shoulders are at the bolster, and inhale from that point to the back of the sternum, to the chest. So nothing forceful yet, just giving an image, giving a direction for the breath. So from where the shoulders meet the bolster, and then kind of, it almost feels like a vertical line, like a perpendicular line when you're in Setu Bandha. Bringing that breath from the back body to the anterior sternum, to the inside facing sternum. Keeping the throat quiet, throat soft, pit of the throat deep. And as the chest lifts, settling the chin in towards the chest. And then for the exhales, can you put an emphasis on drawing so for the inhalation, we're going back body to front body. For the exhalation, can you draw the navel and the lower abdomen from front body to back body? Nothing too forceful, nothing that would cause any like big gripping or anything yet, but just to notice that almost pump quality of the lower abdomen as the breath leaves the lungs. And then as the breath rhythm becomes more familiar, inhale, front or back to front, shoulders to sternum, exhale, navel to lower lumbar. Expand your attention to your eyes. Notice where the eyes move. Do they push into the eyelids? Do they lift up towards the forehead? Start to pay attention to the tendencies of the eyes on the inhalation versus the exhalation. And then see if you can recede the eyes themselves back away from the eyelids and center that gaze towards the center of the chest. So even that action can be done with a hardness. If it feels like it begins to get, the feeling of the eyes becomes hard or heavy or dry, then soften the mental grip on that action and try again. And taking another breath cycle or two. After your next exhalation, you can bring the feet to the floor. Use your hands and feet to push so that you slide towards the head side until the hips come to the floor, if there's space. And then roll to your side and take your strap off. And then we'll set up for supine pranayama. So you'll have your bolster with a blanket on it for a pillow. Towards the end of your mat or even off the end of your mat, so your legs have room on the mat. And then sit in front of it with bent legs. I would say give yourself a little bit of space between, yeah, there you go, Alice, a little bit of space, and see that too much space, Alice. Yeah, oh, I see what you're doing. Okay. And then go ahead and recline back. Keep the legs bent. So before you straighten the legs, walk the heels in towards the buttocks. Join the inner ankles. Join the inner knees. Squeeze that inner line of the leg together as you tuck the tailbone under, buttocks under, and lay the sacrum down. Draw the navel back towards the back body and roll the shoulders back away from the ears. And then straighten one leg at a time, keeping the legs together to start. You can even lift the face and look up, peer down that center line of the body and see that chin, sternum, navel, pubis, inner line of the legs, inner line of the feet all lines up. Then let the inner lines, rest the head back down and let the big toe fall towards the little toe. Releasing the legs to the side. Shoulders back away from the ears. Rest the back of the hand on the floor. And just like we did in Setu Bandha, let the soles of the feet quiet. Even give yourself a little consideration for each toe, right? Can you trace the outline of each toe and feel the space between them as the big toe falls towards the little toe? And same for the fingers and the palms. Can you feel that depth of the palm, that softness of the palm? Draw the outer edge of the thumb up towards the tip of the thumb so the thumb comes closer towards the pointer finger. And let the fingers soften. Now, Setu Bandha was intentional first so that we get that. Setu Bandha forces the attention from back to front at the chest, right? So here there might be a little bit more effort, but you still have the support of the bolster underneath you. And so we're going to take a moment of rest just in Shavasana here. But before we rest in Shavasana, can you draw that part of the spine just at the bottom of the shoulders that you felt in Setu Bandha up towards the chest so that the bottom sternum lifts, so that the collarbones widen. And then let yourself rest in Shavasana for a moment or two before we head into Pranayama. And then bring the mind back to the breath. At first, just noticing it, becoming more aware of the articulation of the inhalation, the articulation of the exhalation, becoming more intentional with when you initiate exhalation, when you transition over to the inhalation. And then on your next exhale, trying to exhale as completely as you can and using that abdominal work, drawing the navel down, drawing the lower abdomen down into the back body. And as you inhale, can you draw up from that place at just below the shoulder blades and into the sternum? It's more of a diagonal line here now than it was the perpendicular line in Setu Bandha. But using this as our first Ujjayi, stage 1, we're not trying to lengthen either the inhalation or exhalation out yet, but to find an evenness and a shape. So as you exhale, drawing the navel down. As you inhale, lifting the breath from the back body into the front body. Almost like you're filling the lungs up. Like imagine pouring water into a vessel. Lungs filling from bottom to, or from back to front, right? Sometimes we'll refer to the bottom of the lungs as the part closest to the diaphragm. Here, I want you to think of filling the lungs from the back body to the front body. And seeing if you can even out the length, even out the effort of the inhalation to the exhalation. Alice, try taking the elbow just like another inch away from the ribs, away from the trunk. I want to see if we can get that top corner of the chest to descend and widen a little bit more. Yeah, it's getting better. All right, on the next cycle, see if you can slow down the exhalation, taking your time drawing more than just the navel, but maybe that whole lower abdomen slowly, deeply towards the back body. Like the breath is trickling down from front to back as it exits the body. So inhalation still lifting up from back to front at the chest. Exhalation, slowly drawing that abdomen back. And then take a resting breath or two. And let's add the extension to the inhalation. So exhale, drawing the navel back. Inhalation, starting from the back body up to the interior sternum. Can you move that breath slowly from the back body to the front body? Taking resting breaths between cycles as you need to. The resting breaths aren't just for the physiological body, they're for the mental body, right? So if you notice that the mind starts to strain to hold on to the image or to keep up with the breath, then that's a sign that's a sign of disintegration, right? Like the breath isn't integrating us at that point, it's pulling the parts of ourselves further apart. So then we need a rest. We need a reset breath. Exhale, drawing the navel down, and then seeing if you can make the inhalation slower. As a way to better understand that space between back and front, between the anterior spine and the anterior sternum. Think of the breath as this means of exploring. And you could be exploring any layer of the body, right? Maybe it's the physiological body. Maybe you're feeling through fascia and tissue and organ and bone. Maybe it's the energetic body. Maybe it's the emotional body. But the breath is moving through something. So think about how, like, if you were to drive down a beautiful street somewhere, you get glimpses of things, but you're moving quickly, right? So it's a very different experience than if you were to take a stroll, if you were to take a nice walk where you could move at the pace that you wanted to really identify and explore and appreciate. And then after the next cycle, take a resting breath. And let's try it with a Viloma inhalation. So let me talk you through it first. We'll exhale as our initiation of the cycle. And then we'll inhale from back to front for three times, okay? So we won't go straight from the back body to the front body, but we'll inhale across that first layer of the back body and then pause, and then inhale up another layer from back to front and then pause, and then inhale that final layer until we're up at the top chest, up at the front of the body. So there's a kumbhaka, or retention, between each stage of the inhalation. And then here's another time to really, this will give you a slowed down time to really examine what are other parts of my body doing as I inhale. Are my eyes lifting up? Is my chin lifting? Is there a part of me that's tensing? So go ahead and exhale completely. And then start your inhalation from the back body up just like 33% of the way, just a third of the way. And then pause. And then inhale your second third and pause. And then your final third up into the top chest. And then release. Keeping that lift of the chest as the lungs empty and the navel draws back. And then complete 2 or 3 more cycles on your own. Resting breaths between as needed. Thinking even that direction from back to front, sometimes it might feel more like a vertical direction, a vertical line from back body to front body. Some breaths, it might feel like it's moving more from a diagonal, like from the kidney bones, or from the kidney, like kidney bones, from the kidneys and the back ribs up on a diagonal to the chest. So experiment with that direction, right? I'm inviting you to think about the breath moving back to front, but there's probably many paths to move from back to front. Each one might show us something a little different. And when you finish your final cycle, take a moment or so just to rest in the same position. And then you'll come up and lie down for your final Shavasana. You can lie flat on your back, or you could put some support under the legs. So here the breath may be a place to start, to bring that mind inward. If you want to return the attention to the breath, see if you can keep the attention in the face now, right? We had kept our attention fairly deep throughout the body, right? Moving down to the abdomen, the back body to front body. See if that attention and awareness of the breath can stay more shallow, so that the mind doesn't feel like it has to stay as focused on it. So notice the breath as it comes in and out of the nostrils. Notice how the breath moves through the facial cavities. And then see if at some point the mind can even let go of the breath. And then beginning to bring your attention and awareness back to the outer body. Go ahead and bend the legs and bring the feet to the floor. Place your hands on your trunk. Take a moment here. So this is a time to slow down too, just like the Viloma slowed down the stage of the inhalation. Here we get to slow down the exit, slow down the transition. So appreciate, what does this position have to offer as I leave Shavasana? Feel the breath through the fingertips. Feel the feet on the floor. And then extend the right arm over and roll to your right side. Come up to a seated position. Hands at the center of the chest. See if you can find that place at the back body again, and draw it in towards the front body, in towards the hands of the chest. And then draw the navel back towards the lower lumbar. So that we carry that action, we carry that awareness out of pranayama and into our day. And we'll take a final moment to acknowledge the land we practice on, to bring an intention to be in right relationship with this land, the unceded territory of Anishinaabe people. And to honor our lineage of Iyengar Yoga, our teacher, BKS Iyengar and his daughter Gita, as well as our own inner teacher and each other. Inhale, lift the chest into the hands. Exhale, bow the head. Saluting that space that you created inside. And then release the hands to the thighs. And inhale, lift the face and open the eyes. Okay, it's good to see you both. Just to give you a cute shot before you head out into the world, here's who was behind the computer screen the whole time. He likes pranayama too. All right. See you later. Take care.